Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. My name is Christopher Coons, and also we have
Gaurav Kazanji on the other line again. Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast.
Thank you guys for tuning in once again. We love hearing your smiling faces, hearing your smiling voices. We you know, like as we've said multiple times, we do sense our listeners.
Exactly, and then with sense, because there's 5 senses, sensing your smiling faces is a 6th sense, but it ties in nicely to the other senses, which is hearing your smiling faces.
What?
I'm just trying to let the soft souls understand what you mean when you say that, and that's what I take from it. So
It's the So Far So Good sixth sense. That's basically what it is.
So far, so sense.
But as usual, we'll kick it off with our introductory questions. I'll kick this one off, as I believe from our pre-talks that we may have a similar question here, or relate to a similar topic.
Yes, I believe so as well.
But as usual, we do not know what we've asked each other, so it is a live answer.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. So I am always hoping for the day that one day we accidentally have
The same question?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
It's a bit like that time when we told that story on one of our early episodes, the dumplings, and
Yes.
then how we accidentally ordered each other the same thing.
Yes. Now, if you want to hear that story, go back and listen to the episode. We're not sure exactly which episode, so re-listen to all of them. All right.
Exactly right.
The question I have for you is, if you could only use one gaming console / something for the rest of your life, what would it be? So, for example, I mean, you could either only have a laptop, only have a PlayStation, only have an Xbox, only have board games, for example. So, essentially, you could choose only one gaming platform to use for the rest of your life. What would it be?
That's too hard. So you brought board games into the question.
Yes.
At the start, I had a very clear answer. Then you said board games, and I'm a massive fan of board games.
Were you gonna say board games, or you didn't even cross?
No,
your
I
mind?
didn't even think of board games. I thought everything digital.
All right, well then let's make it digital, because
Okay.
I think you'd end up going board games, wouldn't you? Just because
Yeah,
you can
probably.
be physically playing with other people.
Yeah, exactly. And then, other sources of fun can come from just having those people around you.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well
Yeah.
let's go digitally only. You can only
Yeah.
use one platform. What would it be?
Yeah. I'm going to go with whatever the latest PlayStation console is.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
very
at the moment,
interesting.
it's the PlayStation 4.
But is there that many gaming options? Like really?
Dude, there's so
if
many.
you compare that to a computer,
Yeah.
you get
Look,
way more on a computer, surely.
Because there's a couple of games that are exclusive to PlayStation, just like they're exclusive to Xbox or whatever. But games like God of War, which is one of my favorites of all time, is exclusive to PlayStation. So, I'm pretty
is
sure.
that a
it is.
game that you play with other people, or you play solo?
No, that's a solo story game.
Ah, okay, right.
But as well as that, there's so many online multiplayer games as well.
Yeah.
And there is, sadly, not enough, but there is a handful of co-op games you can play.
Yeah.
That's what I feel that video games these days lack, just having the multi-controller, people in the same room, split screen, co-op play.
Yeah, like Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, exactly. Mario Kart or
But
old school
obviously-
Halo.
Obviously, more intense games, ideally.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Mario Kart.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting. PlayStation. All right, I'll
Yeah,
take that.
Yeah. Thank you. So, my question to you, as we know from the past few episodes, you like to call online gamers hackers.
Here
when,
we go.
when they're most likely not hackers.
Here we go.
So my question to you is, have you ever actually hacked a video game yourself?
I need to say something before I answer this.
Wow.
I
feel
need
like
to-
this is
I need
your
to-
defense.
I need to say specifically something about you first.
Okay.
So,
okay.
when we're playing Combat Arms, and people are extremely pro that it's almost ridiculous. Like, we
Yeah.
we literally played yesterday with a guy that had 25 kills, 1 death. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And I was saying to you, because we were obviously talking, like voice chatting.
Yeah.
So I was saying to you, he's got to be a hacker. Like, there's no alternative. And
Okay.
then randomly I got kicked out of the game, so I had to join back. And there was only a place in his team.
Okay.
And I was saying, look, I'll kick him if you want. and you were like literally on the verge of calling him a hacker. You were literally on the verge, but literally just because of what we've spoken about on the podcast. About you saying that I call people hackers, you couldn't do it. You couldn't bring yourself to calling him a hacker as much as you wanted to.
No. Look, what it is was like, yeah. Sometimes I do call people hackers, but it's when we're on chat. I'm not actually physically typing in-game chat and accusing them of being a hacker. I say it out of frustration, like, "Oh my god, the hacker got me," but it's out of frustration. It's like when you call people a noob, like they're so good and they get you, and you're like, "Oh my god, the noob killed me."
Yeah,
but,
like-
he's not actually a noob. He's a pretty good player. So that was that. I was like, he's not actually a hacker, but you went the extra mile and actually vote kicked him. So
Yeah, because it was just stupid. Like, there's no point playing against someone like that. Like, they have to be hacking. There's just no alternative.
okay, it looks like you're trying to avoid the question here.
No, I just had to put that out there first. Now,
Okay.
the question was, have I ever hacked in a game?
Yeah.
The answer is, we have.
Whoa. Don't
We
bring
have.
me into this to protect yourself.
Were you not involved back in the
Okay,
game?
I was involved, but my hacking was...
Oh, wow.
my
So you admit
hacking
it.
was at a different level to your hacking.
Okay, so this same game, Combat Arms, but
Okay.
we're talking back in high school days.
Yeah.
There was a group of us, maybe, I don't know, 6 of us, that
Okay.
we all downloaded the hacks.
Yeah.
But we didn't go next level in a sense. We only used hacks such as, like, you could see someone through a wall. We wouldn't we wouldn't
I
say
just
you
wanna
could
say-
shoot them through a wall. We would just...
I never used the hacks for this game. I only
Yes,
ever
you
used
did.
hacks for MapleStory.
Oh. So, did you actually not use hacks in Combat Arms?
I never used hacks because
Not
the
once.
process to actually download and install and hack the system was actually pretty complicated.
Yeah, it actually was.
Whereas the
It took a lot
MapleStory
of
one, you
effort.
literally download this client, and the only reason I did it is so you can automatically pick up coins that drop on the floor. That was my level of hacking.
Such
it
a
was
hacker.
just to make my life easier.
Such
So-
a hacker.
But yeah, as in you actually hacked the game that you're accusing people of hacking. I
Yeah,
don't know where
but,
the logic is here.
but I only did it for like a certain period, like, and it was only when I was playing with like a few other friends and we were like at someone's house together and we would do it like it was kind of just a bit of fun, like as a joke. You know what I
you
mean?
do it as a joke. You just do it as a joke. It's
But
true.
I
it's true.
the only hack I really used was that I could see someone through a wall, so then
Yeah.
like I could know which direction to walk. Because some of the maps are huge, and you walk around for like 2 minutes just to try and find someone.
Yeah, look, fair call, fair call.
So look,
I do
I'll defend myself there. So I'm happy with that defense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you got
I
to
should
try
be a lawyer.
everything. Yeah. Wow. I do want to add that when I did hack in MapleStory, I primarily only used the auto loot button, the auto loot mechanism.
Yeah, just to pick up items.
yeah,
and
just to
money
pick up.
and stuff.
But then when I was looking at the client, there was options to do all these other things, and I got curious one day, and there was this on and off switch for this bit called fly, and it just said you can fly around the map. So I ticked it, and then it instantly got activated. I'm like, whoa, I'm flying. And then in about 6 seconds, I got kicked from the server.
Oh, so they knew straight away.
They knew straight away, but I just did it out of curiosity. I didn't actually want to fly. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of the game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in saying that, yeah, I would never hack.
You mean like you'd never hack anymore?
No, I would never hack to legitimately win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's
the
pointless.
only
That's
reason
pointless.
we hacked was just because it was a bit of fun.
Yeah, you just want to do it for the lols, hey?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. No,
But
well,
yeah,
fair call. Fair
that was
call, I
back
must say.
back in the day, so all legitimate
Yeah.
now.
It's all legitimate now. He doesn't hack, he just calls hacks now.
That's
So
right.
it's all fair and well. Well,
All right.
without further ado, let's get into it. So far, so good.
All right, so thank you guys once again for tuning in to the So Far So Good podcast.
Thank you guys once again. And while we're on the topic of video games, hacking, etc., I wanted to give you a little news update, Christopher Coombs,
All right, I like it.
which I hoped would convince you even more. So now that you're a pro gamer, and you've always said,
What?
if there's if there's another version of the Nintendo Switch that came out, you'd probably get it. Well, the day has come, and recently the Nintendo Switch Lite was released.
Yeah, I've already seen that on the market, actually.
Yes.
Did I
good,
say I
good,
was
good.
going to get it?
Well, you said you didn't want to get you didn't really want the whole console because it's a full console, even though it does have a detachable mechanism. But this one is just a handheld version. It's like it looks like a big Game Boy. It pretty much looks like the Nintendo Switch
Can
when
you
you make
still
it portable.
connect it to a TV?
No, you cannot.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't think you can. So you may as well get the normal Nintendo then.
Well, what I'm thinking is whether I actually am going to use it now.
Yeah, but you're a big Pokemon fan, aren't you?
I am, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've got to think about it.
Yeah, have a good think, because I mean you are a fan of Mario Kart, but yeah, I guess if you're just getting it for Pokemon, you can just borrow mine maybe.
Yeah, nah. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a tough one,
yeah.
man. It's a tough one.
Well, I mean, it's there. It is released. I thought maybe just a handheld version would appeal to you more, but
Yeah, I saw
maybe.
the light version. I didn't look too much into it, but I just saw it, and it was a decent price difference as well.
yeah, it's
So-
about 150 cheaper, something like that.
Yeah,
But
so-
Nintendo's are actually on back order at the moment. It's gone crazy during this time.
Wow. So I might not
Yeah.
even get it till after isolation. So it might not
Yeah,
even
possibly. Yes,
Ugh.
yeah, you
might not even be worth getting it.
I'm not sure about the lights, but the normal ones, I do know a few people who have ordered it and had to wait 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'll mull it over, I think.
Yeah, mull it over and switch it up.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I do have to follow up on an unpopular opinion that was announced 2 episodes ago. Unpopular opinion
okay.
episode.
As in, do you mean the original unpopular opinion episode?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
we did say in the episode that someone sent us through saying that they preferred Severus Snape as a character over Albus Dumbledore as a character.
Okay.
Now, we obviously had a brief discussion, and I think we both disagreed, didn't we?
Yeah, we both disagreed. We both agreed
which
with each
would
other, but we
make it-
disagreed with the unpopular opinion.
Exactly, which would technically make it an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the person that sent it through has sent through a bit of clarification into their reasoning as to why.
Okay.
I think it's in an attempt to turn people, essentially.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, it may be. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there's been a bit of a novel sent through. So I might read it out to you, and we can discuss as we go.
Okay.
All right. So, and start. In recent days, I have listened to your podcast episode titled "That's Unpopular." It was a great listen. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, thank you very much. However, while listening to your discussion regarding Snape and Dumbledore, I felt like I need to provide more information to back up my opinion that Snape is a better character. So, here we go. Please ignore any rambling presented in this, as it's all my passion. That's okay. We will talk it all through.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah. It's all your opinion. It's fine.
All right, so it begins with a main point. Oh, by the way, I haven't even read this yet because I just wanted to read it straight live.
Okay,
So-
you wanted to also be surprised.
So it's going to be both of our raw reactions. So
Okay,
that's a
okay.
good thing, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, so it starts with a main point that I would like to discuss is both men and their reputation. I think Dumbledore, for a lack of better words, was self-absorbed. What do you think
Okay.
of that?
Well, look. Maybe in his early days he is known to be self-absorbed, but let's see where this is going.
So it says he, thoughts he was self-absorbed. So he is undoubtedly the greatest and most powerful wizard of all time. However, was never humbled about that. He even lost family and friends to build his reputation. Almost potentially killed his sister and broke ties with his own brother, trying to hide the guilt and to make sure his reputation was untarnished. I think Dumbledore's main purposes was to be powerful. A prime example was the ownership of the Elder Wand. Remember how Harry was admired for destroying it? Because he wanted to protect himself from too much power? Yes, even Harry, who loved Dumbledore, recognized his greed for power and dominance.
Okay. That all may be true, but let's see what the defense with Snape is.
Alright, it then goes to, So opposite to Dumbledore's self-admiration, there was Severus Snape.
Okay.
He was known for being a cold, emotionless, and sinister man. Nevertheless, he was a Death Eater and must have done some horrible things. However, he sacrificed his life to do the right thing. He knew the awful things others thought about him, but never needed others' approval or reassurance to protect the people he cared about.
Okay.
He spent his days mourning the loss of the love of his life and pretending to be a dark character to protect Harry and the good of the whole wizarding world.
Okay. I feel like what I'm about to say here may be a second unpopular opinion about the same topic.
Okay.
Yes, all of that, yes, that's all true. I agree. That's just straight facts from the books.
Yeah.
But does what Snape did actually redeem himself? Think
Well,
about this very
that's the
carefully.
thing. Exactly.
Because
he
firstly,
did begin doing a lot of bad things.
yeah, like he was a Death Eater. Death Eater literally just murder people. They're like, they're like the drug cartels. They murder people, they do everything for power, in worse ways than what Dumbledore's done. So it's easy, like, you can easily assume that Snape has murdered people in his life. Yeah? Now, suddenly, yes, the love of his life sadly died. Very, very sad. And yes, he, like, in the background protected Harry. But he was still, like, the biggest, like, he was the worst person to him his whole life until the moment where he reveals his true goodness. Is it redeemed? I haven't come to a conclusion myself, but I like the discussion. Do you guys think he is redeemed?
All right, so there's a little bit more. So let's see if this will sway either of us. So
Okay.
next, I'll quickly discuss the job that both men did in protecting Harry. If you know that Snape has saved/attempted to save Harry's life on more than one occasion. When Professor Quirrell tried to knock him off his broomstick, when Lupin turned into a werewolf, and not to mention the time he pretended to stay loyal to Voldemort by killing his best friend and ultimately dying for Harry and the cause. Dumbledore did educate Harry and was a great adult figure in his life. However, gifting him an invisibility cloak, which, he already rightfully owned, and appearing to him in a dream after Voldemort tried to kill Harry to say some nonsense about dreams being real life, did not quite compare to Snape's efforts.
Okay. Look, fair call. I understand this person's reasoning. But, all in all, I still think Dumbledore's a better character. But I'll also tell you why. There's obviously a lot more given to Dumbledore. In the books, he's a lot more of a character. You know more about him, you get to know him, you like him more. So that's why I feel like, yes, Dumbledore is still a better character. And I mean, every character has their backstories. Every character has their pros and cons. I'm not saying over, yes, this person's better than this person. Because even if that was the case, I'm going to say Dumbledore. I mean, Dumbledore was never a Death Eater. Yes, he's made some bad decisions in his life, but, it's fair to assume that he's never willingly killed innocent people because they weren't pure of blood. Which
Yeah, that's
you can
right.
say about Snape.
And there's something to say about certain people that are self-absorbed, right? So if you look at Dumbledore, he's the headmaster of the entire wizarding world. And, I mean, it's almost like, let's compare him to Leonardo DiCaprio in the acting world. If Leonardo DiCaprio is self-absorbed, I mean, he's one of the best actors ever. So, like, he kind of has a right to, essentially.
Okay, I know what you mean. I mean, so you're saying, like, Dumbledore is such a powerful wizard, it doesn't matter if he's a little bit self-absorbed. And
Yeah,
look,
because
I'm
he is that good.
Yeah, I'm going to agree, and I'm going to disagree. Dumbledore is definitely very humble about his power, He's the most calm person ever. Like, you can't insult the guy. He's not cocky about his power. Like, not now at least. Maybe he was back in the days, but, we're talking up throughout the whole time. And
Yeah.
he's the one that changed up Hogwarts to let in mixed blood, muggles and whatnot, those sort of witches and wizards. So I'm going to still stick by Dumbledore's better character. I mean, just think about it. Snape was a Death Eater. He could have... You can assume he killed innocent people.
Yeah, for no reason at all.
Yeah, for no reason at all. And he only just had one... Who knows? Yeah, it just... Nah. I'm disagreeing.
And even though he killed people, but he also essentially condoned everyone else that killed people. That was
Yeah, exactly right. He willingly joined... No one forced him to become a Death Eater. He willingly did it.
But you could also say he was almost like an FBI agent that went undercover.
But he did, but that was after the fact, you know. So many years of being a legitimate Death Eater. And
But
then
was
later,
he always legitimate?
He was definitely always legitimate. That's 100% in the stories.
All right, so there's a bit of a conclusion. So let's read that out, and then we'll make our final judgments on it.
Okay.
All right. So Snape's character arc was one of the best in entertainment history. Wow, that's a big call. So, boys, I will leave you with the question. You live one life. Would you rather spend that short time, or in some cases 150 years, striving to be more powerful than everyone around you? Or would you spend it loving and protecting those you care about? It's as simple as that.
Firstly, I'm a bit confused now. Secondly...
Yeah, I'm a bit confused as well. Because he did kill innocent people.
Yeah, he was only caring and loving for half his life, not his whole life, so you can't really say his character. The reason I'm confused is, I still don't get... Are they saying the character is better in terms of like, wow, such an interesting story, or the person in themselves are better? Like,
The character. What do you mean?
So as in, like, is it who's a better character for an audience to like, or it's who is a better character in the movies or the books as a person?
Both.
Do you know what I mean?
Bit of both, I think. Seems to be a bit of
either
both.
Either way, I'm gonna stick by my original decision. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with you as well. Unfortunately,
thank you. I mean, it just proves that it's an unpopular opinion.
I mean, I would say Snape was a better character in terms of entertainment purposes than Dumbledore, but I would say I agree with every other aspect that you said.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, it was a good analysis. I enjoyed the analysis.
Yeah, we might put that as a poll on the Instagram, because I want to see how many people agree. And
yeah, let's keep polling this up. Yeah, I like it.
That'll be interesting.
That's a good idea.
I did actually want to mention one other thing about Dumbledore.
Okay.
Because when we spoke in that episode, we were talking about how old he is, and I remember seeing somewhere that he was something like 666 years old. Did you remember that?
Oh, I thought you were just saying that exaggeratively. I did. I thought
no. I feel like I remember seeing that somewhere.
I think you're confusing with Nicholas Flamel, who was about that age.
Ah, okay.
And he was the guy that created the Philosopher's Stone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Which means he was like pretty much immortal if he kept making the elixir of life.
Yeah.
And then he was.
We had I did a bit of a search and more look into it, and what I mean by that is I googled it.
That's what I assumed.
But it turns out Dumbledore was only about 150 years old.
Yeah. You might be getting confused with Nicholas Flamel then, because he was 600 and something in the movie.
Yeah, 666, I believe.
Yeah, probably something.
Yeah, but yeah, very interesting. So we'll definitely poll that up and see what our thoughts are on Snape versus Dumbledore, because it seems to be. I mean, just from that, the amount of what we've talked about it's quite a topical conversation.
Not topical at all, but we can make
it is
topical.
It's very topical.
Sure. Okay. Topical. It's topical for now.
All right. So the last main topic that we wanted to talk about in this episode is all relating to music playlists.
Yes, correct. Absolutely correct.
So I had a bit of a conversation with someone the other day, and that's why I thought I'd bring it up with you, because we both have created many music playlists in our time.
Yes, but as you know, late last year, we spent a lot of episodes talking about one particular playlist that I made. So
yes,
you're right.
Grav's Tracksmith.
Grav's Tracksmith.
For those who remember.
Jingle bangers. Yeah, exactly right. It still exists if you're feeling in a Christmassy mood for some reason. Go for it. I mean, sometimes I open it up accidentally and accidentally click shuffle play, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this song, and then I listen to it.
Yeah, it's a solid playlist. But you can only listen to it in December.
Okay, whatever you say. You can
Legal-
make your own rules.
Legally, you can't play Christmas carols in public outside of December. Legally,
But you can play it in private, so that's okay.
yeah, private's fine.
Yeah, private's fine.
Now, I'll briefly run you through the discussion I had with this person.
Okay.
So the funny thing was, do you use Spotify for your music?
Yeah, ever since a couple of years ago, it's been primarily Spotify.
Yeah, I think most people do. Now, one of my friends actually follows me on Spotify, which I didn't even know.
Okay.
And she actually sent me a message, like a screenshot, with the song that I was listening to right at that second.
Okay.
Because apparently it shows you what someone is listening to at the time.
Yeah, if you follow them, but I have that feature turned off.
Ah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
you like to hide everything.
No, I just like to be mysterious sometimes, you know?
Gaurav loves hiding everything. He's always got his location off. He's got no tracking whatsoever on his phone.
It's gotta be better to be safe than
And
sorry.
he has literally nothing to hide.
Yeah, I've got nothing to hide, but at the same time, you gotta be a bit mysterious just to keep the interest up.
Well, I like it. I reckon it's a solid feature. Now, I
Thanks.
didn't actually know it was a feature. No, not you. I didn't actually know it was a feature, but so she sent me a screenshot of the song I was listening to and said, "Oh, solid song."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And then, yeah, I figured out what was actually going on there.
Can I know the song?
Yes, actually, it was. If I go back through my photo, oh no, they sent it to me on Snapchat. It was a Kendrick song though. Oh, it was "Loyalty" by Kendrick Lamar.
Ah, yes. Solid
Yeah.
song, solid song.
Yeah, so pretty solid song. Then I sent a photo of their page because I then followed her, and it turns out that she has the recent activity off like you do.
Okay.
So I said, "Oh, you're hiding your bad music taste, are you?"
Ah, yes. The classic line, I tell ya. I get that
Stitch
a
up.
lot.
So then she proceeded to tell me that, yeah, I'm a bit awkward about what music I'm listening to, whether people would like it or not. So I make all my playlists private. So then I said, oh, just curious, like what type of playlist have you got? And then she said, I've got a chill one, I've got a feel-good one, but I'm really working on them to make sure that I don't have any songs that are skippable. So she's trying to get to like an elite playlist status where every song that pops up, you just want to listen to because it's that good.
That is an achievement. That is
Yeah.
an achievement.
And unfortunately, I had to bring her down because I said, man, I've tried that so many times and it is literally impossible. Because when you think about it, you may add a song that you really like, but then if you take out songs that you end up skipping, you will then have less songs in the playlist, which means you'll listen to those select songs multiple times, and then you'll
Yeah.
end up getting sick of some of them.
100%.
So either way,
100%.
either way, I personally don't think there's a way to get to a elite status on a playlist where nothing is skippable. Do you think?
See, I was going to say pretty much the exact same thing you said. There was this playlist that I made for myself for my train rides that didn't used to be too long. And I wanted to get to the same status. I didn't want to skip the songs because, you know, you just don't want to. And what I found was it was a very short playlist, but I wasn't skipping songs.
That's interesting. How many
Yeah.
songs do you think was in that playlist?
I think 18 or something. Like, there wasn't
Oh,
many.
that's short, man.
Yeah, it was very short. So what I found was I listened to that playlist quite a bit, but then I ended up adding to it or making new playlists, that kind of thing. So
Yep.
yeah, and I know you particularly. You were on this. You were in this zone. I think it was early this year or late last year, where you started making your playlist, and you just made like quite a few different playlists. There's like your Chris's road trip playlist, your chill playlist, and you were sharing them all around. So, do you have any progress on that?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, my whole musical journey as such. Now, I used to, obviously, back in the day, just download songs and put them on my phone.
Yeah.
I was doing that right up until probably 2 years ago, until I started using Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Now, I didn't want to the only reason I didn't want to get into Spotify is I thought, oh, what if I end up not wanting to use Spotify anymore? What if, the app dies? What if the memberships get ridiculously expensive? Blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do that because then I would pretty much lose all my playlists or my,
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. But what I used to do was create specific playlists, like in terms of not necessarily genre, but mood. So where I'm at the moment with my playlists is I've got a road trip playlist, which is the main one I was working on.
Yeah.
That's the one I've worked on the most, basically.
Yeah.
It's just like either chill, indie, or kind of somewhat feel good music. It's really hard to explain the style that I'm going for.
No, I
But
know
it's
what
just,
you mean. I know
it's
what
just
you mean.
something that it's just songs that give you that certain feeling. I always relate it to this one song, and it's "Riptide" by Vance Joy.
Yeah.
So if you think about something like that, but then it kind of varies a little bit depending on the style. So that's one playlist. Then I've got a few others. I've got one for gym, one for playing basketball, I got a reggae one, I got a country one. I'm very wide music taste, essentially.
Yeah. No, exactly
I've got
right.
one for rap. I've got now. This is the other one you were talking about, the chill one. So it's kind of like chill beats / like mixes of music. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't really like that style, but yeah, I don't mind it.
Because the chill one I find good for even for drives, like when you're on long drives. I find the chill music good, especially when it's like a summery vibe, all the windows are down, that sort of vibe.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or like, let's say, for example, you go to the park with a whole heap of people and you're just kicking the footy around or something like that.
Yeah,
It's just good to have like a beat in the background, like a
yeah,
summer
it's
beat,
like, it's like
summer
a
beat
beachy
style.
vibe, like a picnicky vibe.
Yeah, like if you, for example, go on Spotify and you type in summer beats, it'll be that style.
Yeah. So
Um,
pretty much what we're pretty much both describing is summer.
Yeah, basically. I've then got a playlist I call R&B / party. So it'd be
Yep.
something you just, can
Yep.
dance to or drink to or whatever. And then my most recent playlist, which is Work in Progress, which is a new style of music that I've started to get into.
What is it? Dubstep?
Can you guess it? Nah, it's not dubstep.
Bollywood?
No, it's similar to dubstep, kind of.
Electro? Techno?
Nah.
What is it?
A bit more like... I don't know what the word is.
Hard style.
It's very mainstream for a group
House.
of people.
Is it house music?
Yeah, kind of. Like bangers.
Ah, yes. Wow, I never expected you to be making a playlist on that.
Yeah, so I've started that as well. Now, something that my friend was telling me when we were talking about the music playlist as well is that if you've got Spotify, there's a thing called an on-repeat playlist that Spotify makes for you.
Yes.
And she said highly recommend that because then it's obviously songs that you listen to a lot. So
Yeah.
that may be something. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to give that a crack as well.
No, I'm a fan of those ones. I'm also a huge fan of the end of year Spotify thing where it gives you a whole summary of what you've listened to, your top 10 songs, your top artists, all of that. And then it makes a whole playlist, like your best tracks of your year.
Yeah.
And then I end up listening to that for, the first few months of the new year. And it's
Yeah.
always a good time. Because there's songs that you forget you played so much, and then you hear it again, and it's like a nostalgic feeling, even though it was so recent.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of these playlists, I'm a bit weird about how I use these playlists, right? So the way I've got them set out is they're kind of different moods. So it depends on what mood you're in.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I may be in a quiet mood, but I may be at the gym. So I still may listen to my road trip playlist even when I'm at the gym.
Yeah, 100%. I totally understand what you mean. It's
So
like,
it's not like I go to the gym and specifically put the gym playlist every time.
yeah.
It depends on what mood you're in.
Yeah, and that's why I also agree. I also like making playlists on moods. So like I've got like, you know, slow songs playlist. I've got instrumental playlist. I've actually got a main party playlist and a pre or post party playlist. And that's where it's like the party songs, but it's not as, you know, it's
Not
not
as full on.
It's not as full on, exactly right. Whereas the party main is where it's like, yeah, all these songs are guaranteed to play at the peak of the party.
Yeah.
The problem I find with all playlists is when I start making it, I get fully into it, and then every now and then I add songs. But then there's a point where I haven't added songs in so long, and now that playlist is outdated.
Yes, 100%.
So that is
Every
one of my
time.
main issues.
Every time.
It's like, because if you listen to my pre-party or main party playlist now, they're all songs from like a year or two ago. I haven't updated it in long enough. But, you know, it's the newer the playlist is, obviously, the more updated it is, because the more time I've spent on it, and I've gradually decreased in adding more songs, but I'm still adding songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually got a friend with a similar playlist idea to you, but it's a 3-part party playlist. So you've got the pre-party.
Yep.
You've got the, I don't know what she calls it, but you've also got the party main, and then you've got like the end of the party, where you've got those you know, like Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, like classic end-all songs.
Yes, like that style.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she created that for her 21st. And yeah, that goes off that playlist. Because
Yeah.
it hits the mood perfectly, you know?
Yeah,
You've got the pre songs that are like kind of like chill R&B, where you're just having drinks, catching up, and then you start getting into the dancing, and then you're right in the peak of it, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's kind of ending, it's getting sad, and then you've got these songs that just hit. They hit hard.
yeah, and that's when like everyone gets together and like sings their heart out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good is
Another thing I actually really like doing with my playlists, which I also did with my Christmas one, is ordering the songs. So you have a good order if you listen to it in order, but you also can shuffle it, of course. And I've done that with a lot of my playlists. So there's one with instrumentals. It's actually my Hans Zimmer playlist. And I've ordered them by movie, but you don't have to listen to it in that order. You can also remix it and shuffle listen.
Yeah, of course. But what's the actual point of putting them in order? Like, I'm just curious. Because I would never do that, because then I would know what song's coming next.
See, like, so with that playlist I just described, it's like, it's by movie. So let's say, actually, let's listen to all the tracks from this movie. And then you can just press the first one and it'll continue to play throughout the rest of that movie. And some of those ones with Hans Zimmer, and pretty much most soundtracks, like, a lot of them line up, so they're in order of this song blends into this track and this track blends into that track, whatever. But, like, for example, with the Christmas one, I did it in order of, you know, almost like pre-party, main party, post-party, except it's in the one playlist. So it goes slow, peak, and then slow. So I'd like to do that. Obviously, you can't do it with all of them. Like with my slow song playlist, they're all slow songs, so there's not really an order. It's just all sort of shuffled. But
Yeah, that's interesting.
when I can order it, I like to have the order. Just so I have the option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, the other thing I like to do with creating playlists, now, it can be very time-consuming. But what you want to do is you want to... obviously, people want to find songs that they don't actually know that are going to fit in that playlist. So, for example, if I go back to my road trip playlist and I want to add some new songs, I would go to a song where it hits the mood pretty perfectly. So again, let's say we go Riptide by Vance Joy.
Okay.
So you then go to the Riptide song radio on Spotify.
Yes.
And then you just hit shuffle. Let the songs play. If you hear something you like, add it to the playlist.
Yep.
It can be tough because you may hear a song and you might think, oh, this is awesome. But then when you go to listen to your playlist later on and you hear that song, you might think, oh, it's not actually that good of a song. So then you've got to remove it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a tough one. And that's why it comes back to you can never have a perfect playlist. It's just impossible.
I disagree. I think there can be a perfect playlist. It's not impossible, but it's hard to reach.
But at the end of the day, you need to add new songs, and you do have to get rid of songs at some point.
Yeah, you do have to keep it updated.
You just can't. It can't be perfect. It's impossible.
It can be perfect for a short period of time. I'll say that.
It can be perfect for one night.
Specifically.
Like you could make like a party playlist and then bang, you use it for this party. But then next time you go to use it, nah. I don't think so.
Yeah. Look, yeah.
There'll be songs that you don't want to hear.
Well, that's why
yeah,
it needs to be updated regularly, and that's the thing. Like, it's not a one-off. It's not always a one-off thing. Sometimes, yes, it is a one-off. I've made this playlist. It's good for the rest of the time. But most playlists, you do have to keep updating. And one thing I like to do to spruce up your personal playlist is make a custom display picture. Make a custom playlist photo. I'm a big fan of doing that, and I've done it to most of my playlists that I've made. So I'd recommend going for that.
I actually like that idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks. I mean, if you want me to commission you some artwork, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, let me just count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 playlists. I'm gonna need 10 photos, please. How much is that gonna cost me?
I'll do it for you, mate rates, 50 cents.
Per photo?
Just a one-off payment, 50 cents, so I can go buy a third of a cone.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't get you a full 50-cent cone now, because they're 60. Crazy. But, yeah, I mean, look, nothing is perfect in life, and philosophically speaking, the only thing we can be sure of is, as usual, the sun will rise and the sun will set. So, once again,
of course,
thank you guys for tuning in to the So Far So Good podcast. Now, this was somewhat of an informative conversation, so I hope you guys got something out of it.
Yep.
I know I got a few things out of what you said, which is surprising.
Thank you. Wow.
Mostly the fact that I'm going to get 10 photos done for 50 cents for my playlist, so that's quite exciting. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, keep up on our Instagram because there will be a few polls coming out because we want to see what your opinions are on certain things, so that could be quite interesting.
Yep, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. One more thing you can be certain of is that every week you will get a new So Far So Good podcast episode.
That's right. And we will catch you on the next episode.
Goodbye.
Bro, I destroyed you guys yesterday in that bloody map.
Get out of here.
Dude, I can't believe it. You guys actually smashed me in the first round, but then the next round, I came fire.
Yeah, but that's only because you had hacker teammates.
No way! Dude, I was 8-0. I was 8-0, man.
Yeah, but the map was terrible.
What do you mean?
Which
You
map
bloody
you talking
love
about?
that map. It was that,
Castle one?
Castle one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one was good. Oh, yeah, you mean the second game of that? Yeah,
The second game, yeah.
Yeah, touche.
Oh, man, I've got to stop taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
There's a bit more, so let's see if damn it.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, damn it, I just dropped my phone.
Hello?
Alright. Sorry, I dropped my phone.
Oh. Oh, gee.